Good morning, everybody. Actually, it's good afternoon in the East Coast, and this is Sally Wimberly, and I'm otherwise known as Cabernet Queen, and this is Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works. Good afternoon. Well, I haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks. I don't think I've missed a week since I started doing this. As many of you know and can tell from my face, I had some plastic surgery done in Mexico September 29th, and this is the first time that I've been home to make a video. I've made videos about my process on my own channel, Cabernet Queen, which has been wonderful to sort of document the experience for other people. But today is Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works Day, and I have the question here. Um, and I need to look at it, and I apologize. I don't have it written down. It's in my Facebook notes page. I'm going to say this, I'm going to paraphrase it, and then I'll type it in correctly. I'll cut and paste. If you look at it, no. When you look in the mirror, is what you expected to see, or basically envisioned you would look like after weight loss surgery. And I talked to Rosemary about this a little bit because she created this question, and so I kind of got where she was coming with the idea of it, which is really good for me to know. And I'm going to say, in many ways, yes, and in some ways, no, and then in some ways, no, and then yes. And I'll explain. It's because when you're heavy, 250 pounds, you really can't visualize yourself completely. I mean, you can look at what you think's attractive in other body types and want for a part of that reflection to be in you. Um, and I can tell you that the body type I would have dreamed about would have been along lines with what was possible for me. I thought perhaps curvaceous. I wanted to be I didn't mind being soft and round and curvy, uh, kind of like an hourglass figure, except I have no, I had no breasts. I have breasts now, for those who do not know. Woohoo, I have breasts. Thank you, plastic surgery. But my whole life, and I'm almost 54, I've had no breasts at all. So I was a hourglass with all the sand at the bottom, was what my husband used to say. And he used to make jokes. We could just hang upside down and some of that sand would run to the top, then it would be evened out. And I had a real thing in my head about silhouettes. I've always been a person about the shape of something, the outline of something. And so whether it was my hair, which we won't talk about that today, whether I wanted my hair to have a certain shape in the end. I wanted my body to have a certain shape in the end, and I never in a million years dreamed when I shot past 147, which was the lowest I'd ever been in my life, um, and thought I was too skinny when I was 147 when I was 30 years old and had lost it myself with Weight Watchers. Um, I I really I really didn't really like the 147 body, and it was a real obstacle for me to overcome. And if anyone has known my journey, they know I used to talk about I'm not going any lower than 147. I don't want to look like that. I know what I want to look like. It's not like that. Well, you know what? I finally gave myself over to the process, and everybody does their own thing. So this is no judgment on anybody else because many people stop purposefully, at a certain point and are comfortable with that. But I didn't want to short circuit the process for myself. I had no idea, after all those years in this body, what God had intended my body to be. I had no idea what the call of the universe was supposed to be. What my body, if I hadn't become fat as a child and had emotional issues and ate to love myself or whatever my issues were and put on that weight, I had no idea what my body type would have been. I could only look at the other people in my immediate family and guess what my body type would have sort of been like, and we were all about the same except I was the fat one. Nobody was skinny as a rail except my brother, like in high school. Um, so anyway, I finally let go of that death grip I had on that fear of going below 147, and I allowed my body to just follow its own path. I used to use the analogy, I got on this train and I'm not getting off the train until it stops itself. I'm not jumping off the train ahead of time. I'm not going to short circuit my destiny because I don't know what my destiny is. My body's destiny is. So I kept just doing what you're supposed to do and moved forward. My body stopped itself when the train stopped. I got off and the train stopped about 1:30. Actually, it stopped about 135, and then it decided a few months later to go down into the lower 130. So, I fluctuated between 128 and 133 for the last 6 months. Before that, it was last November, it was 133 to 136, 137, and that's where I was for about 6 months. So now that I've had plastic surgery, this weight today is 137 at the doctor's office, 136, but I know a lot of that's water weight, and they didn't cut a lot off of me. Just so you know, they didn't cut a lot off of me. It was all skin. So there's not a lot of weight in the skin, he said, so don't worry about the weight. That is beside the topic. The topic is, do I look in the mirror? Do I see what I envisioned? And I'm going to say that I had no real vision, not a clear vision. And then when I did think about it, the curvaceous, I was really disappointed when my body, the difference between 150, 147, and 130 is a huge body shift in shape. That went the rest of the legs, the rest of the hiney. I didn't have any breasts anyway. And I became like in my mind, a beanpole. A beanpole. And I would wear my big bra with nothing in it just to give myself a little shape, and then I looked top heavy and a beanpole. But then I started to look at myself, and you know what? It's that dysmorphia thing. You have to look at yourself for a while and start to be comfortable with who you are. And then I realized I wore a little smaller bra, and then next thing you know, I'm seeing that. And when I'm at the gym and I'm in my gym things with my tight things on underneath and my bra that's still too big but not ridiculously too big, I see a curvaceous shape. I don't see a little booty sticking out. That would be lovely. But you know what? At 54 almost, I don't expect people just lose weight in different ways. So in the end, even though I was scared of that stick shape for a while and being very broad shouldered and then going very narrow, I had a hard time embracing that body type. That was not a silhouette I was ready for. Ever. Never would my hips be gone. So then I learned to embrace who I was, and I was good with it. And I felt very lithe and athletic. And when the doctor gave me my breast implants, and he chose on the table the right size for me, he said, I picked these because I knew you're an athletic body type. And I just wanted to laugh. Um, because then you don't want these in your way. You don't want, I mean, I didn't want to be a porn star. Or even be really big, because that just, people say how tiny I am now, and that would have looked silly on me. So, um, so now when I look in the mirror, do I see the person I thought I would see? I never thought, I didn't know what I'd see. But do I like the person I see? Yes, I like the person I see. Actually like the person I saw before I even had the plastic surgery. As long as I had on my tidy, I won't call them tidy whities, my tight things that suck you in 20 pounds everywhere. The only difference between now and before then is, A, I'm swollen and I can't look as thin as I did before I had surgery right now because I'm swollen on the middle, on the lower half. But I don't have to wear those Spanx things, or the faux Spanx, eventually, to make me look as narrow as I looked when I used to wear them before they took off the extra skin. So to me, what I did was just equal. I paid money to have someone cut off the flab and pull up my butt and pull up my thighs so that I wouldn't have to wear Spanx for the rest of my life to look the same in my clothes. That doesn't mean I still don't like Spanx, because I certainly do, and I certainly like my legs to be nice and firm and not jiggly, and my legs will always be a little jiggly because you can't do but so much to a thigh. You can only go so far. But the rest of me, it's good. So I like what I see. I don't know that I could have envisioned what I saw, but what I like about this question is that you need to embrace who you are through the process. Embrace who you are through the process. Give yourself a season to get used to who that is in the mirror. Embrace that reflection. Know that it's temporary, it's passing. You're going to lose more, or you might put a few pounds back on, and that shape can redistribute itself. And once you've lost, really and truly, your body does redistribute itself a little bit. I mean, what looked really bony to me at one point, 3 months later, didn't look that bony to me. And actually, I wonder whether it didn't redistribute a little bit. And then working out at the gym and building my rear end, my glutes, and my whatevers from doing squats, all that helps. So I'm happy with what I see, and I was happy with what I saw before the plastics, just so you guys know. It's not necessary, but I didn't want to have that sagging skin pulling me down when I was naked, looking ugly. That bothered me. that bothered me enough to go have plastic surgery. Did it change my life and my clothing? No, it did not. So there. Everybody's got their own thing, and this has gone on way too long, and I apologize. But love the skin you're in, and you know, love the shape that you've become, and embrace it. Okay? You guys take care. I'll see you next week.